Good morning, everybody. Today is the second week of our tech classes of this month. And today we are going to focus on digital decluttering. So basically, how do we get rid of anything that is causing us stress on our devices, whether that's an iPhone, an iPad, Android phone, tablet, computer, whatever that may be. We want to start getting rid of things that is either taking up too much storage or things that are just unnecessary, right? So there are they always talk about on the news or on articles of how to declutter your physical space, but there's never rarely classes on, digital decluttering, which is also something very important that we need to learn how to manage because it could become just as stressful as physical things in our household. So, why is digital decluttering important, right? One thing,
Mm-hmm.
of course, it is going to free up storage space on your device. So if you're someone here today that is struggling with space on your phone or your tablet, or you feel like it's a bit slower than usual, right? Digital decluttering will help with that. It's also going to help you find things easier. So hopefully today we'll talk about putting things in folders and organizing our devices. It is also going to help your device performance. So if you're someone here today that has thousands of emails and different types of applications you have on your phone, right? Of course, that is going to slow it down. So the less things that you have on your device, or at least you learn how to organize it, is going to improve the way your phone basically performs in terms of speed, right? Like sending messages, uploading things online, that kind of performance. And then also, right, security risks. So if you're someone here today that hasn't updated your phone in a while or hasn't updated any apps, or you have an app that you rarely even use, right? Getting rid of things that you no longer use, getting rid of files that are from 2016, 2015, all of that is going to help potential risk because the older the things are on the phone, right, they're not going to be up to date with the newer software. So as long as you are, we go over updating things, throwing things that are old in the trash, your phone will perform better and hopefully not get any viruses or so on. So before we start today, each and every one of anybody that's here today or that will see the recording later on in the when I post it on YouTube, right? The first thing you want to ask yourself is what is causing you the most stress on your phone? Because each person is going to have a different stress. Some people, it's their emails, right? You may have thousands of emails on your phone. It may be that you just want to clean up your photo and albums. So every time I meet with a member, usually we go through your photo library and I see there's pictures of like the ground. You accidentally took a picture of like a blurry, something that's blurry, or your phone was recording in your pocket and you didn't even realize you took a photo of something, and then you never clean it out, right? You just leave it in your camera roll. So the more things that you have of that type, of course, is going to keep taking up space. But we don't really take the time of our day to, go through those type of photos that we have. But hopefully today or after this presentation, you can go by each one. Also, apps that you no longer use, right? So each iPhone or Android device comes with applications that we might just not care about to ever use, right? There's on the iPhone, there's applications um that come pre-installed, like for example, a compass, a measuring tool, an app to draw, some people don't really care to do that. Video editing, right? Some of that is just, it doesn't interest them. So there's no need to actually keep it on your phone. You can actually delete it and you will clear up some space. Another huge one I always see from people is text messages, right? Text messages is going to be the number one killer in your storage. And we're going to closely look at what is taking up space in our phones. But really think to yourself, do you need a conversation from 2016 still in your phone, right? You may not really need those type of text messages. And this goes for all types of platforms. If you're using WhatsApp, right? Make sure you're clearing out things in WhatsApp. If you're using a type of social media app like Facebook Messenger, right? All of those contain text messages. So whether it's in iMessage or not, we want to start clearing up old text messages. Unless it's something really important to you, right? Then of course you can always keep it. But if it's something like from your doctor, that is just reminding you of an appointment that you had 5 years ago, you most likely do not need it. And I also just included, like, if you have a desktop, right? Some people here today may still have a computer at home, and kind of their computer area can be a bit uh cluttered with documents and stuff. And there is always ways to like digitize those documents, which we could talk about later. So I'm gonna go over iPhone and then we're gonna go over Android in the next step. So before we actually discuss different components in our phone, I think it's good if we all do an exercise where we go into our phones and we see how much storage we have and what's taking up our storage in our devices. So I have the slide on iPhone right now, and the next slide is going to be on Android. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you want to go to the settings icon on your phone, and you're going to scroll down and find the word general and then iPhone storage. When you get to that section, at the top of the screen will give you a bar of how much storage you have in your phone, and it's going to say uh how many gigabytes out of and how much when you purchased your phone. And it will show you in different categories what's taking up space. It will also show you the apps that are taking up the most space in your phone as well. And this is for iPhone right now. If you do have an Android, we'll get to the next slide in a second. I'm just gonna make sure anybody here today that has an iPhone on the call is okay.
No, I missed
So
the
for some
first
people
step.
here today, if you're looking at this, right, I've seen that, what's taking up a lot of space for people is the photos. It could be the text messages. And then sometimes it's emails or even apps that they really do not use. Like I've seen people like the video editing apps like iMovie. That's an app that's installed on everybody's iPhone. But many people here today on this call probably are not video editing on their device. So that's something we can look at to delete later. But hopefully through this exercise, you guys are getting an idea of what's taking up some space on your phone. Does anybody that has an iPhone have a question?
Yes, I do. Hello?
I think this is previously
Okay.
recorded. Is she live? This is,
Oh,
So those that have an Android device,
I don't
you want to
think-
go, of course, to settings. So that is the gear type of icon. It's in silver. And in settings, you want to also scroll down and you're going to look for these three words because each Android phone might look different. So while you're in settings, you want to look for these three keywords, either storage, device care, or device maintenance. In one of those categories will show you your storage and what's taking up space in your phone. So once again, if you for those that have Android phones, so that's anything. If you do not have an iPhone, you would most likely be in the Android category, unless you have like a Pixel phone.
Hi,
But I'm sure
can you hear me?
nobody here has a Pixel phone. But if you go to Android settings, you want to look for
I have a Pixel
storage,
phone.
device care, or device maintenance. And on that screen, it will show you kind of also a bar type that will tell you like either it's images taking up space, videos, and it'll show you if the bar is almost full, that means your phone is almost out of storage. If it's halfway or so on, 1/4, you could tell by a bar, or it may just show you a percentage, right? It might look different for other people. And if anyone has questions on that, let me know.
Yes,
Nancy, yes?
yes, I missed the beginning of the iPhone part, so if could you just tell
I
me,
can't hear you, Nancy.
uh, okay, I unmuted. What do I do?
Hold on, let me see. Maybe it's my audio. Hold on.
I think it is because I can hear her very clearly.
Oh, okay. Hi,
Is that Nancy?
that's Nancy, yes.
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay, thank you. I just wondered if you could just give the first couple of steps that you gave for iPhone to go into settings. Was that?
Yes, go into settings
Yeah,
and then you go to general.
general. Okay, I'm
And
not
yes,
finding general. This is an old iPhone.
it doesn't matter if it's an old or not. It's the same steps.
Okay, I just don't see the word general.
Start from all the way at the top and then just go slowly. Anybody have a question with Android?
I have an Android. I was going into my, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Documents, and it says, and then when I clicked on it to trash it, it says unsupported file type. What does that mean?
It may mean that you have some type of documents in there that you can't open. It probably is your phone cannot open it. It probably got saved as a website. It's saved as a type of email, a type of file that cannot be opened. It's something that's not an image file. It's not a PDF. So all types of files that like the doctor would send you that you could open up and read.
Okay, so then okay, so I could trash it, right?
Yes, you could trash it.
So Tabitha, I'm on Android
Yes.
and it says that I have 63% used in my internal storage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see all the different categories, including trash.
Good.
How
Yeah.
So the trash I should get rid of, that would be like,
Yeah. Anything that's in your trash is what you have trashed previously, but your
right.
phone gives you kind of a time period where they keep it just in case you may still want it. And usually that's around 15 to 30 days, but you can go ahead and already, delete it. You don't have to wait for your phone to delete it for you.
So my biggest ones are audio files and apps. Audio files, 26.82 MB.
Okay, so
That
M,
would be,
yeah, so
What does
that,
MB stand
yeah,
for?
thank you for
Megabytes.
saying that.
Gigabytes?
So MB is actually smaller than GB. MB
okay,
stands for megabytes, and you need 1,000 megabytes to equal 1 GB, which is
Oh.
gigabytes. So if you do have like anything lower than 100 MB, you don't really have to worry about that. That means it's very, very small. You want to look for things that equal 1 GB. So if there's like something that's taking up 1 gigabyte, 2 gigabyte, or more than that, that's a very large files that you want to get rid of.
okay. So those are my images. Those are probably my photos.
Right.
And then something that says other files.
Yeah, so things that are under files might be like various documents you may have downloaded from the website, from your email. It could even be like pictures from text messages. It could be any of that sort inside of other files.
Okay, so that could be in my download section.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So for everyone here today, once again, if you did this little exercise and you looked and you saw GB next to whatever's taking up the most space, that's something that you really want to focus on, because gigabytes are more than megabytes, which is MB. I really don't worry about anything that's in megabytes, because that's a very small percentage, and even just deleting that is really not going to help you declutter your phone. So I would focus on anything that it's larger than 1 to 2 gigabytes and focus on that first. And if you're someone here today that doesn't have any of that, then it probably means that your phone is fine. You don't really have to worry about deleting things, but this class will still be helpful for you in organizing.
Tabitha, what are KB?
Yeah, KB.
KB is even smaller than MB. So that's like basically saying it's taking up 0.1% of your phone storage.
Okay, thank you.
So the system is 25 GBs. That's something that has to be in there, right?
Yeah, so if your system or that's basically anytime your phone updates, right? It's updating using it's putting new files into your phone to make your phone run faster, give you new updates. So the system is something you cannot change and cannot delete. And that number will continue to grow every time your phone has a new update.
So the apps, I guess, are the next biggest one to take up space.
Yeah, so you wanna see what in the apps you can start deleting if you can. If not, you're probably going to have to delete the app altogether, depending on how large it's taking up your phone or if you really need it or not. All right, so we're gonna go on after, so at least now everyone has an idea of what is taking up some space on their phone and what they have to worry about. So we'll go over some categories of each one, and you guys can continue to ask me questions. So I didn't hear anybody say email, but I know email is something that, you know, clutters a lot of people's phones. Maybe not that it takes up a lot of storage, but it's something that does stress you out a little bit. So with emails, the two things that I would try to do to declutter an email is first, delete your spam or junk folder. So on all of our emails, whether we have a Gmail, AOL, iCloud, whatever it may be, there should be a folder or inbox called junk or spam. And that is going to contain about maybe 10 emails, or it can go up to 1,000 emails. And just deleting that can clear up a lot of space in our email and to decrease the storage. So that's something you want to check in on. So our phones and emails automatically put things in spam when they see it's a sender. We don't really email often or get emails from them often. So a lot of people don't really check spam because there's no purpose in checking things that we know are, going to be people trying to say, oh, you won the lottery, you won this, fake things. But it is good to clear it up just to give you some space on your device. Another thing is unsubscribing. So there's going to be a lot of emails that bypass the spam and the junk section and go automatically into your regular inbox, your regular emails. And you may want to unsubscribe as soon as possible, or you're going to continue to get emails from that company. And it is going to take a while for those emails to completely disappear from the inbox. So I'll give you an example. I've been trying to unsubscribe from Macy's and take it out of my inbox, and it's been like 2 months, and now eventually it's starting to go into the junk section. So it does take a while. You have to be consistent. So that's why I always say to start with those two first. Everyone thinks that once you hit unsubscribe, that's it. The next day it's gone. You don't have to worry about it again. But unfortunately, you could use me as an example. It is going to take a month or so where your phone starts recognizing that you do not want this email in your inbox. Another thing that's also very important is emptying the trash folder in your email. So it is great that you are trashing your emails if you don't want them anymore. But once you trash an email, it goes into the trash folder or the delete folder, whatever your phone may call it. Just find the garbage can looking icon. And with that, is going to have every email that you have trashed for the last 30 days. It's going to stay there because your phone is giving you a time period. So you could either take it back out in case you deleted the email by accident. However, if you're someone that's truly struggling with storage, it is best that you go ahead and delete anything from your trash folder because that's going to clear up space immediately. So it's fine if you delete something and leave it in the trash and wait for your phone to delete it. But if you're really someone that only has like 10% of storage left, 20% of storage left, you could go ahead and into your trash folder and just hit delete all in the trash to give you a bit of space, and it might help actually your phone work a bit faster if you're someone struggling with storage. Another thing, right? This may not, be helpful for people here today, but if you do have a laptop at home or a computer at home, or you're able to go to the library, you're able to use someone's friend's computer, or you want to come to the center and use our public computers that we have, it is faster to delete emails on an actual computer than using your phone. When you're using a laptop or computer, you can actually select all of your emails in your inbox. Yes, you can actually select up to almost 10,000 emails and delete them all in one shot.
Oh, cool.
But that only works on a computer. It does not work on the phone. You cannot select your 1,000 emails in one shot. So if you look here on the screen, usually whether you have a Gmail or AOL, Yahoo, in the top, there is a button where you can select all emails. And I'm using my example. I only have 50 emails, but for you, when you click this button that says select all, it actually will say select all 1,000 emails, select all 10,000 emails. It will say the number that you have in your inbox. And you can actually click select all and then put whatever is the number of your emails, and it will delete it all in one shot for you.
So we can't delete it from a certain point on, like if you didn't want to delete all your emails, could you
Right.
delete
That
it some 2023? No, there's no option for that, right?
right. So this would be if you're someone that kind of wants to delete everything in one shot. You can't say I only want to delete whatever 2018 emails only. This would be for everything. The only thing that you can do is you could delete by pages. So hold on, let me delete this and show you something. Okay, so if you see where I just circled, you can, if you want to delete by like a year, like let's say you want to delete the earliest of your emails first, you can go to where I circled and you could click on it and it will say latest or oldest, and you would click oldest and it will go to whatever was the first email that you got on Gmail, AOL, Yahoo, whatever you use, and you can start backwards and delete things. But you can't choose a specific year, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
You
it
can
makes
only
sense.
go older or start from the newest.
I mean, I know I've deleted where I wanted, like Macy's. I'd find Macy's and I'd click on that and I'd light up all the Macy's and then I
Right.
delete it
Yes, you
like
could do
that.
that too. Yeah. So what she's saying is in the top here where it says search mail, you can put the name of who you want to delete. So let's say you had a friend's name, you could put the friend's name and delete all their emails, or a company's name, you could put it here in the circle. And it will, your email will show you all the emails from Macy's or all the emails from Uber or whatever it may be. And you can select it that way. Any questions on that from anybody?
Tabitha, I have a question to go back to the storage, the iPad storage.
Yeah.
There's something under recommendations. It says offload unused apps. Is that good to enable that or?
So when you offload an app, it's basically going to keep it on your phone, but pause the app. So it will stay on your iPad, but if you tap on it, it's going to re-download itself on your device. So think of it like if it's like frozen in space where if you touch on it, you're re-downloading it. But for now, it's kind of like frozen in a chamber, like in the Alien movies or something. Like
Okay.
give a way to describe it, like
It's,
uploading
it's
an app.
inactive. It's
Yeah.
inactive.
So is it good to enable that, or is it better just to get rid of the apps you don't want?
For me, I just get rid of the app. If I want it back, I'll just re-download it.
Yeah.
If it's an app that's you have important information on it, then I guess you can keep it. But most of the time, when it's an app you don't really care about anymore, there's no point in saving it.
Okay, just get rid of it. Okay. Okay, thanks.
Okay. So the next thing is photos and videos. So this is also a killer in storage because a lot of times we take a lot of not just photos but a lot of videos. So videos are have more take up more storage than photos. So if you're someone here today that when you saw your phone and we did the exercise and the photos was a top, app that had the most storage, you want to start with your videos first, because even deleting 100 photos will not compare to you just deleting one video. Videos are going to can range up to 500 MB to even 2 or 3 GBs, depending gigabytes. GB equals gigabytes. Um, depending on how long the video is. So if you're someone here today that takes videos, or maybe you accidentally took a video that's 2 minutes long, 3 minutes long, even more than that, that is taking up a lot of storage in your device. So I would start with that first before you go crazy deleting multiple photos, because you'll be saving more time if you focus on the videos first. If
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Where can we save the videos in another place if we want them?
Okay, so yeah, that, I mean, I would say then to either put it on like a hard drive, because we don't want to start putting photos and videos in all multiple places on our phone, because that's only gonna just clutter it even more. If I tell you to put it in another cloud space like Google Photos, then the point of this class kind of means nothing. So I would say if it's something that you really want to save, Alicia, you can invest in a SD card
Huh,
or a
okay.
USB where you can put it on a physical drive and transfer it that way. But at the moment, if you're using your iPhone, right, it's going to be safe.
Yes.
It's saving to the cloud, the iCloud. So
Mm.
you have to choose. Do you want it on the iCloud and pay the monthly iCloud fee, or do you want to put it on a physical thing? You have to see what would you want to do.
It's just when you put it on the SD card, you it's hard to remember which ones you put on the card,
Right. So
right?
the only other option would be making sure your phone is saving to the iCloud. But of course, the iCloud may run out of storage, and that's why I know you're paying.
Mm.
I know you're paying the $2, so you're fine. Your things are saving to the cloud.
Okay, so my videos automatically go to the cloud?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, in your case, this is not for everybody.
Okay, not for everybody, unless they have storage. I paid for storage like
Because I
like
meet with Felicia
down
and
the
I
hill.
know her predicament.
My many predicaments.
Right. So
Photos automatically go to the cloud, or is that something you have?
right. So in your iPhone, there
An Android, I don't know.
in your settings at the top, if you go to settings and you click on your name at the top, so you go to settings, it'll say your first name and last name, you click on that. Inside of there, there's a section called iCloud. And you can see what's being saved to the cloud. It'll say mail, photos, drive, and it'll say either on or off, or have a gray button, which means off, or a green button that means on. And you can see what's being saved to the iCloud. So if
That's
you
for
go,
iPhone only, right?
yeah, that's for iPhone.
Oh, what about an Android?
So for an Android, you'll see if it's being saved to Google Photos by going to your Google Photos app. And you want to see if any of your recent photos are displayed there. If not, they're probably not syncing. So if you go to your Google Photos app, in the top right-hand corner will be your initial of your name. And you can click on that and find the sync button to see if your photos are being synced to the Google Photos cloud.
Is there a charge for that?
There is a charge if you go over your limit of 5 GB. And it will tell you if it has gone, because it will say it cannot sync anymore because you reached the limit and you will have to pay 99 cents a month. You only get that if you have reached the limit. So if you haven't received a message like that or an email, then you haven't reached that maximum, but you will get it if you could also see it in if you go to Google Photos, you click your little initial in the top upper right-hand corner. There should be a bar that shows your storage, or there should be a section that says storage. It should show you like how much space you have. You could also check it in your Gmail as well. So for those that have Android, right, your email, your photos, they all are using the same cloud space. That's
Uh-huh.
why it's important that you delete your emails as well to limit space in the cloud. So those that have iPhones, right, don't get confused with what I was just saying with the Android folks. For those that have iPhones, right, you don't have to use Google Photos, right? We have our own cloud called the iCloud that's saving things into there with different prices than what Google charges and so on.
Mine says 5,000 items to delete from this device.
Okay, so yeah, you want to go through that and see where you can delete.
Yeah, but I shouldn't push that. I want to choose, not them.
Yeah, see if you could choose it yourself or
Yeah,
see what
okay,
they're asking you to delete.
okay.
Mine says 11.64 gigabytes of 15 use, so I'm running out. Does that sound right?
Yes, that sounds right. So you're almost finished with your storage. So it, you're gonna have to go through your emails or your photos to limit some to get some space back. Or if you go to the maximum, that's when they're gonna start charging you.
Oh.
They
Oh,
won't like actually like you have to sign up for it. They're not going to just get a card, right, from your phone or device. You have to fill out the payment. Essentially, what happens is if you reach the maximum for your Android, if you reach that amount, they will send you an email saying, do you want to get more storage? And then you can put in your credit card details or so on. If you don't do anything, right, basically your phone is just not going to save things to the cloud. So any photo that you take, it won't upload to the cloud. It'll just stay in your photo gallery.
Where can you find that Google app again, the photo app under
Well,
Android?
your Google Photo app, well, it looks like the little rainbow flower. It should, I don't know where it
The
would,
gallery? Is that the gallery?
it's not the gallery, no. It will say Google Photos. It should be in an album with your other Google apps that you may have, like your Chrome, your Gmail.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll look for it.
Any other questions?
well, if you have your apps that are on your screen and you want to, if you just slide up and you can uninstall it, does it take it off completely? Will
Yeah,
you-
so we're gonna do that
Oh,
in the next, I think 2 slides or maybe the next one.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Oh, yes, the next slide. Yeah, we're gonna do iPhone and Android, yes, coming up right now.
Mhm.
So the next thing, which she made a good point, is the uninstalling and moving of apps, because it sounds like many people have apps here today they just do not use. So if you looked at the exercise and you saw that apps was the main one, you want to start deleting apps. But these are some questions you can ask yourself before you delete them. When was the last time I used this application? So if you don't even recall when you used this app, or if you never used it, there's no point of having it on your phone. Just delete it off your phone. If you really do need it, you can always get it back in the App Store or the Google Play Store. Is the app taking up a lot of space on my phone? So there's apps that we have pre-installed on all our devices that take up space because Apple thinks we're going to probably use it later. Google thinks we're going to use it later, so they just put it on our phones. But instead, it's taking up a lot of storage. If the app is really important to you and you want to start organizing your phone, once you start deleting things, which I will show you in the next slide, consider putting it on the first page of your phone. So what do I mean by that? So as soon as you open up your phone and you see all your apps, right? The ones that are most important, I will put it on the first screen. And you can put things and move them around by holding it down and dragging it left and right to move an app to two different pages on your phone. And you can actually also put apps into folders. So you can also put an app into a folder by holding it down and hovering the app on top of another app. And it will open up into a folder, which is here on the screen. You can see it's like a large box that has multiple apps inside of it. And you can actually name the folders on your device. And for some people, that is helpful to have different folders on their phone.
Is that the same thing for an Android phone? Because I just tried doing that, and it seemed to work.
It should. I could, hold on, I could get my phone after when we do the Android, and I could see to make sure. It should be like that, holding it and hovering over another app. So if you have an iPhone, I do have a slide for Android, but if you have an iPhone, you don't know how to delete an app, you press and hold it down, and a menu will appear underneath the app, and it will give you an option to remove the app. If you press down on it too long, however, the app will start shaking, and instead you have to press the minus sign to delete the app. So once again, to delete an app off the iPhone, you touch and press it down gently, and you don't have to hold it down for so long. It should be less than a second, really. And you'll get a menu that says remove app. But if you press down on it for too long, the apps will start jiggling, and you can click the minus sign to remove the app off your phone. Same thing with iPad. So with Android, because I did do this class in the center, there's multiple ways to delete an app off the Android phone. So I'm gonna show you, I think the description I put on this slide is the faster way. The other way, I don't want to deal with because it might be too long to explain. But to delete apps off your Android, right? I don't know why for each Android phone it's different, but for some people, yes, if you hold it down, the app on your Android phone, for some people here today, yes, you will get the word uninstall on your app. But this may not be true for everybody that has an Android here today. So if you hold the app down and you do not see the word uninstall, what you can do instead is go into your settings app and look for the word apps and notifications. And if you go into apps and notifications in your settings, you will get a list of all your apps on your phone, and you can click on the ones you want to delete, and it will say the word uninstall.
One of them, like Google TV, it says open, disable, or force stop, so you can't delete it? Is that?
That is true, yes. So some of the Android phones have apps on there that you cannot delete. Things like I'm pretty sure, well, not Google TV, but also anything that's like kind of related to Google in a way, you're not going to be able to see the uninstall app. There's also some apps like your messages and your phone, of course, that you cannot delete because those are pre-installed and how the phone operates and functions. You want to focus more on apps that are taking a lot of space, because deleting things like Google TV might not do a difference in your app. If you want to help declutter your phone, you could always move the app somewhere else so you don't notice it as much. But it's okay if you can't really delete it, because if you're not using it, it's not damaging your phone or taking up space on your phone.
Tabitha?
Yes.
It's Helene. I just wanted to thank you. I spent 2 hours earlier this week on YouTube looking at videos on how to uninstall it. And it's so easy now that you've written this thing in front of me. So just,
Good.
I hope you know how important this is to those of us who are wandering in the forest.
It's true.
That's right, 100% right.
You're welcome. Any questions about apps before I go to the next slide from anyone here?
Tabitha, what about like the medical apps where you have a portal or something where you have a lot of information on it? Does that take up a lot of space? You know, where you communicate with your
I
doctors
understand
and all that.
chart and things like that. I actually haven't checked how much, because I also have my chart on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't checked how much storage it has. I do know, because I'm not sure like if my chart is an app where like documents are going into the cloud. Like I don't really think those files that the doctor sends to us on there, it's like saving into our internal storage. I think it's using like a cloud system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really taking up space within our phone in a way. I have to check. I don't know. You could also go back into your iPhone storage and see where is my chart, like how much space is it taking? Is it KB, which is the smallest, MB,
Okay.
or GB, which is larger, the
Mhm.
largest?
Okay, thanks.
If you delete it, do you lose the information on it?
No.
No?
If you
Good.
delete my chart, right? The only thing that you're gonna be losing is your username and password that you should have written down somewhere else or saved in a password book or in your passwords app itself. But
Right.
once you put that information back in, you'll get all your test results again and your visits and who your doctor is. It's just going to delete your password.
Okay.
Tabitha,
Okay.
is there a password app? I didn't know that. On an iPhone?
Yes, it's
Mhm.
called Passkeys. No, it's called Passwords. Hold on.
Yeah, passwords.
It's called Passwords. If you have the new iOS 18,
I have a iPhone 13 Plus.
okay, yes. So if you updated your phone recently, there's an app now called Passwords, which looks like a key, 4 keys, in blue, green, and yellow, and white. And that is where our passwords lie now, instead of in settings. If you haven't updated your phone, you would just go to settings and find the word passwords, and that's where you would see your passwords.
And that's a secure place to put your passwords?
That is, yeah, I mean, that is Apple's own creation integrated into the phone. So
Okay.
using the same security system for when they send the security updates for malware and viruses. Like it's not using any third party, it's through Apple itself.
Right. Could I just ask you one quick question?
Yes.
Do you think it's necessary to get extra security on your iPhone and your iPad?
No, I do not recommend any of that. And I think I was gonna actually start to do a class like that in the future because I do get this question um a lot. But as long as you're updating your iPhone or Android with the security updates that they send you or software updates, that should be enough to get rid of any viruses or malware that you may get on your phone. Now, that doesn't mean that if you yourself click on something that's shady, you're
Mm,
not going to get a virus, right?
right.
Apple cannot stop you from you yourself clicking on a bad email that you got and you get scammed through that. But in terms of like you randomly getting a virus, that won't happen as long
Okay.
as you're updating your phone anytime it says you'll get like a notification that says your phone will update while you're sleeping tonight or things like that. You should go ahead and always say yes and do it.
Mhm. Thank you. That's a big question for me, right?
So just to end for today, right? Regularly review your storage and apps. So try to make it a habit. I mean, not every month, but maybe every 6 months. Do that exercise that we did on the first page where you go into your storage and see what is taking up space, see if you cleared anything since now and June, right? Come back in June and try it again and see if you decreased your storage. You could do monthly reminders to declutter. So I know, you may have thousands of emails that you need to unsubscribe or delete. So you could take your time and do that. Try to make an effort to do it every month. And just be mindful of the apps you're downloading. I think it's always split when I meet the members at RSS. There's some people that barely have any apps on their phone. And then I've seen people have like 6 pages of different video games and apps and all type of things that I don't even have on my phone. But just be mindful of what you're downloading. And if you haven't used that app in months, just delete it off your phone, right? It's gonna save space, it's going to help with the performance. Because think of it this way, if you have an app on your phone that you haven't used in months, that means you also haven't been updating that app either, which now means that you have an app on your phone that's older and running on an older version that could be slowing down your phone as well. So if it's something like, oh, I haven't used, I don't know, I'm gonna just use WhatsApp as an example. I haven't used WhatsApp in 3 months. Just delete it for now. And the next time you do feel like using it, you can always download it again on your phone.